When you say underdog, I looked at the odds and it's very close, but you are still, at least what I've seen, the favorite. Are you surprised by that? And if not, why do you think that is? Why do they have you as the favorite, Izzy?
Um, I am surprised by that, to be honest, because I thought these bookies were not smart as they are. So I'm surprised they actually picked me as a favorite because I am the more polished fighter, but he's just the guy that's got, you know, those tools that he's got that nuke. He's, only a few fighters in history have that. Like you just said in an interview, you're lucky to face a Mike Tyson. You're lucky to face a guy like David Tua. You're lucky to face a guy like Deontay Wilder, even just once in your career. You're lucky to face a guy like Alex Pereira even once in your career. So yeah, lucky me.
Izzy, it looks like it to me, and maybe it's just a camera or something. Are you bigger than you typically are heading into a fight? It looked like you had a little bit more muscle on your frame, especially your upper body.
I don't know. I'm quite vain, so I don't. I mean, I am. I think I look good, but I feel
Oh yeah,
stronger.
no, I don't mean to say you look bad. I thought you looked
Yeah.
great.
Oh no, no, I understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I am vain, so I should be knowing these things, but I haven't really paid attention to it. But like, I I feel stronger. I feel stronger. I'm hitting harder. So yeah, I guess my boy AB's been getting me right since before Christmas.
Israel, do you ever look back at that first fight and say to yourself, damn, I wish there was like 15, 20 seconds more in that round one because you hit him with that power jab and I think it was a right straight. You rocked him and then his legs buckled with that left hook that was placed perfectly on his chin. I get the feeling if there were a few seconds left in that first round, he might not have gotten out of those first 5 minutes with you.
One more shot. One more shot is all it took. I mean, even I did the same thing when I fought, my guy Rob at UFC 243. At the last second, I dropped him.
Yeah.
I'm dangerous every second of every fight.
Yeah, it seems like people talk like you don't have the power to get him out of there. What do you say to that? It seems
Those
clear.
those people don't really watch the game. Then they don't really watch
Yeah.
the history of fighting. They haven't even watched the previous fights I'm betting, because again, we live in the goldfish memory era.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't really need them to remember. I don't need them to validate that. I know what happened. I know what I can do. He knows what I can do. That's what's important.
Do you put more emphasis, Izzy, on getting the finish if it's there? You talked about that nuke that he has just because all he has to do is throw one punch with that incredible power that he has. Do you put more emphasis on getting him out of there and not having to stand in front of him for a second longer than is necessary?
Yeah, I don't get paid by the round. So I feel like this. I don't think there's emphasis. I just plan on dominating. And when I'm dominating, the finish comes. So I'm not putting emphasis on the finish itself, but I plan on dominating from the start to the finish and staying dangerous every second of this fight.
You posted something on social media. Ali Bomaye, obviously going back to '74, and it was, I think it was Ali Kill Him talking about the great George Foreman. Love you, George.
Mm.
Do you see a parallel though between you and Ali? Ali obviously he had retired because of he didn't want to go and fight in the Vietnam War and he wasn't the champion then, and he obviously got his belts back. Do you see a comparison between you and Muhammad Ali, especially looking at the Rumble in the Jungle in '74?
I would say I do see a comparison, but there's certain things I take inspiration from his life that I draw inspiration from in my situation, and I use it to fuel me, and I'm inspired by. So yeah, I would say like he's a great in a class of his own, the greatest of all time. So yeah, but I draw inspiration from his story to fuel my story.
As we had his grandson is getting into MMA. He's just an amateur now, but we had him in the other day, and he said, my grandpa would have loved MMA, and I would have loved to have to heard Ali talk about you and what he would have said about your style. That would have been pretty cool, I think, to hear.
I wish they had social media back then. I'd love to see Ali on Twitter or on
Oh,
Instagram.
can you imagine?
Bruh, I would love to see the shit he would have wrote, and that'd just be like encapsulated on the internet forever. Like if he had Twitter back then, he'd run that bitch.
He would. I'll get you out of here on this one, Izzy. Big news yesterday that that Endeavor, obviously, which owns the UFC, is buying WWE, and I already see a lot of people on social media, kind of saying like, Connor would be great, Israel would be great as a wrestler. They got the charisma. I know how focused you are now on this fight, but if could you ever see yourself getting into professional wrestling, especially now that you're kind of, part of the company in a way? Could you see that happening, Izzy?
That's later on down the track. That's later on down the track. I'm still, I mean, that era, the Attitude Era, was my era of wrestling, and I've been drawing even inspiration. I posted something a couple days ago, maybe the highlight between The Rock and Stone Cold,
Yeah, I saw that.
WrestleMania
My way
7.
or the highway.
Exactly, one of the best highlights in history. Um, Dope track as well. But something The Rock said towards the end of that post I made, I feel that encapsulates exactly how I feel for this fight. Everything, I mean it, bro. Nothing has anything that wasn't helping this fight in my life was removed. Anyone that wasn't helping this fight in my life was removed. Everything I've put into this fight. So this time it's my way.